Hello everyone, I'm Silverraptor and welcome back to another Wargame Red Dragon deck creation video where I will be making another deck that you guys have decided to ask me to do. And what the next one that's been suggested in the comments is a French Marine deck. However, I did take a look at the French Marine deck and actually I cannot use all the activation points that we can use with that French Marine deck. It's kind of surprising on my own, but yep, I refuse to make decks that I cannot use every single activation point, so I'm going to change that slightly. I'm going to try to see if we can do a Eurocorp deck Marine, and see if we can get max activation points used for that. So we'll just do the Eurocorp. Is that how you pronounce? Yeah, Oh, yeah, it's different. Okay, Eurocorp Marines. Yep. And we shall do that. Alright, so logistics tab, we will do a fob. I'll keep it a French fob just to keep in theme with the original request of a Marine French deck. Let's see, we can get a VAT PC, which is amphibious. That's actually a pretty good idea. So that will be our land, and we will get this infantry CV in this helicopter, since we can't get the Vern Spar in anything but MD Jupiters. That's not very good for a Marine deck. So yep, we'll get some rocket pods on that CV. Now we got some logistics. First, we are going to need to have some aircraft, even though these are kind of poor on supply. We do need to have these for the supply our troops in the future. And we'll get one VLRA logistics. And that will be our logistics tab, all filled up. Now, infantry, pretty important. I wonder what I want. I could get Fallschirm Jägers and Fallschirm Jaeger 90s in these troop transports. I don't like these troop transports because it feels like it's wasting the veterancy of the Fallschirm Jaeger 90s. But I think we do want to have them, and these Fallschirm Jaeger 90s are bigger than the regular Fallschirm Jaegers. There's also the choice between Legion and Legion 90s. Legion 90s pretty damn scary. We can only get one. Okay. So we can... That's a pretty big drop. I'm trying to look for quite a bit of Legion 90s. We do want to separate this into a land force and an air force. What about these Rimas? Let me just compare the Rimas to the Legions. They are pretty much the same, except the Legion 90s have a longer Eric's missile. And the Rima more for closer range combat. I think we're going to put the Rimas in the Panzer, and the Legion 90s will come in these VAB T-2013s. We could get Sapeurs, but we'll come back to that in a moment. Yeah, these regular Legions have a worse close quarters light machine gun. Commando Marines, do we want these? Commando Marines compared to Fallschirm Jaeger 90s, not the best. As you can see, they are inferior in all aspects. The main gun, while it's the same accuracy, has quite like a third less fire rate as what the Fallschirm Jaeger 90s have. The anti-tank gun or missile, less accurate, less armor penetration power, and the close quarters machine gun is less fire rate as well. The only thing they have is 15-man squads, but that's not enough to circumvent Fallschirm Jaeger 90s. I think what we're going to do, we're going to put the a Milan F3 in this Panzer. The ATGM I think I may have said this in the past, but in case I did not, the ATGM has a bit of an accuracy hidden statistic where in order to get to the max range of ATGMs, it actually rolls the a hit chance twice. So at once until it gets to about half distance, and then after that it gets rolled it again to see if it's still on target. So this is why I don't get any ATGMs that's lower than 50%. The reason why is that I want 50% is that when the missile flies the first time and it gets halfway to the target, to first to get to that point, it needed to roll heads or tails. And the heads would be to hit, and then the tails would be to miss. If it threw the tails, well, it's going to miss all the way to the end. After that halfway point, it will roll this accuracy chance again, and if it gets another heads, it will go and continue on and hit the tank that it's intended for. But if it hits tails, it will miss again. So essentially, with 2 coin tosses, you have to have both come up heads at this 50% in order for it to hit. Which means if it is a 70% accuracy, that's actually more in your favor because you have greater chance of being able to hit the target because it rolls that higher percent chance of holding that 70 twice. But it still gives it basically 3/4 of a chance not to hit, which is a little bit iffy. But 50%, that's about my limit. It's also why the Mi-24D that the Soviets have, I won't get unless they are in elite status, because that elite pushes the accuracy to 50% roughly, which is acceptable in my opinion. So we'll get that. We will get... Oh, we're out of Panzers. They don't have any other... I was thinking of putting like a Mistral. I think a Mistral will actually is more important than this. So we will get the Mistral in a Panzer division. And we'll put the Legion 90s there. Let's compare the Legions and the Rima. Both are shock trained. The Rima have a more accurate gun. And they've got the same ATGM. So it's literally, are they the same? Oh no, Rimas we can get more. We can get more. The Legion are more of a assault troop, but the Rimas can definitely hold static defenses a lot better. I think we're going to get these Rimas because we can get more. Oh, we can get them in the autocannon version. Yes, we're going to get those alongside our Legion 90s here. Or do we want... Oh, okay, so 12 here, 14 here, just double checking. So we have Rima 85s ready to go into push with this Panzer. Do we want regular Rima 85s or regular Rimas? This Legion 90 would kind of be... This Legion 90, since we have 12 of them, is more of the defensive, so I think we are going to get Rima 85s. These will be our assault. The Legion 90s will be our defense because the Eric's missile is more of a setup, whereas the Rima 85s is more just get in there and fire as many rockets as possible. So that makes good sense to me. Let's see, ATGM Milan F3. I guess we can get this. Okay, so we get 6. It'll be the same number here and there. Mistral 45 or 40. Okay, for price, we're going to get the Milan F3. There will be 40 for each, and the Mistrals will come in the regular VABs. They'll just be 40 each. Alright, so this will be our land force. This will be a bit of our air force. Not as numerous as the Red Dragon Marine deck that we made, but still worthwhile. Support tab. Now, oh yeah, we are definitely getting the VPM 120. It's amphibious, 5 HE power, really accurate with a very low dispersion rate and pretty long range. This is what I like to call the Martillery. It's kind of an artillery piece, but it's classified as a mortar. So, the Martillery will strike. We have the gun similar to the red Dragon Marines, but these are radar. I'm going to look on. We could get Caesars. Oh, yeah, definitely Crotels. We want these Crotels because these are the HQ7s. On this side, we could get Fab BDAs. Yeah, these are amphibious. We'll get those. So we have quite a bit of AA, but we don't have anything dedicated to taking out enemy aircraft. That's unfortunate. This is smoke. Huh. We could get this for smoking, but I'm gonna come back to it. Alright. Now we've gotten to the tanks. Not really very impressive tanks. Neither of them are amphibious, but the harpoons I do use fairly often, and that's because they're so cheap. You can get a whole bunch of these and all these missiles, and they all fire their missile at the same time. It's this cloud of missiles that flies towards the target. You know one of those missiles is going to hit. So you basically supplement its lack of accuracy with just having a whole bunch of them. And with 17 AP power, that's pretty decent. It's got 13 rounds per minute for its main gun, which means it can provide some decent anti-infantry support if it gets close enough. The AMX-10 RC is unfortunate, not amphibious, which is a shame because it certainly looks like it would be made to be amphibious. It's kind of like the only tank that has wheels and not treads, so that is interesting. And it's got an okay gun, but with 40 points. For a sniper tank, I don't really want that, so I think I'll bring one card of harpoons. We might come back to fill up points, depending upon how much the German side fills up our points. And now we have the AMX-10. Now, if you compare that to the tank version, the gun is slightly worse. But it is amphibious, and it's got good optics. So for recon, I think we are going to get these. That is not amphibious, so we're not going to get that. We need to keep in mind... we're going to get some BGS. I have no problem bringing these guys in to the troop transport because they're rookie, and that will not do anything for the troop transport in terms of points coming in. We've got some Commandos Para. Do we want Commandos Para with Puma Pirates? Probably not. Let's get some Mistrals, because very good optics and anti-air is good. Anything else on the recon? I guess we'll get this. Help spot for our ships or whatever. I think it'll do for the recon for now. Vehicle tab. We've got the VAB Mephisto. Now it is only 40 points, but it's got a 50% accuracy missile. It is amphibious, but not the greatest range. Kind of lets it down. We can get ERC Sangui. These are even worse than the AMX. They are amphibious, pretty fast amphibious, so this could be kind of our Zerg force that comes in, and maybe one hardened Mephisto, maybe that can help out. These things are probably going to die if the enemy charges with tanks, but in terms of the enemy tanks just kind of sitting there, these can probably snipe them before the enemy can retaliate, but I do need to keep in mind to get ready to retreat these at a moment's notice. Helicopters. The French don't have any... The French are known to having decent helicopters in this game, but apparently none of those helicopters are Marines. Well, that puts a big damper in our plans. Aircraft. This is a terrible selection. As you can see, this is why I'm merging the Germans in with this French Marine deck. So we can get these two 400 kilogram bombs. We are definitely going to get the Super Etendard, because these are tank killers. We're definitely going to be needing those. These Crusaders are absolutely terrible with only 2 missiles, barely inaccurate, low ECM. I don't care if you're only 60 points, you're not worth it, even at elite status, I don't think. Oh wait, with 45%, this could be a helicopter killer, but nah, we already have all the Crotels. We don't need any more helicopter killer. We're going to get double Tornado ECRs. because these can shoot at ships, and we have points that we need to spend up on. And we can get a lot of tornado IDSs. That sounds pretty good to me. And we can get one card of these Etendard IVMs. I'm going to put the Super Etendard here. Yeah, that's good. That's a good combination. We have tornadoes, just the bombers next to the other bomber, and then the Super Etendard next to its Etendard version. And as you can see, we now have 5 points that we want to spend. So I gotta just throw stuff in here. Another card of harpoons, maybe. Maybe another card of the AMX. We'll put this at the end. Hang on, we'll put that there. Put that at the end. Okay, good. We're at max. We have just double checking. We have everything. We don't really have anything to shoot down enemy aircraft. Maybe the tornadoes if they can get close range, but they're not dedicated enough to take them out. So now we get to go into the Navy section. So the Navy with Blue 4 is kind of interesting. As you saw from the Red Dragon, the Red 4 ships kind of have a bit of advantage. Hatsuyuki's not quite worth it. I mean, it shows that they're good stats, but if you see them in actual combat, they're not the best. So, could get a Congo. That would be the best that we have. It would definitely be able to deter any planes trying to come in, but Red 4 doesn't really splurge on planes. But if we do Navy, we do need to keep in mind of the Silverraptors, the Utiloids, the Jangu 3s, and the Congo would be a good step to trying to stop that. In terms of ships, we're going to get Lafayette's and Oliver Hazard's. And the reason why, if you compare the two of these, the Lafayette has the advantage that it's got medium stealth. Now, don't underestimate that. I've seen Super Pumas fly and unable to see the Lafayette until they are almost in range of the Lafayette's missiles. It's amazing. And the Lafayette has pretty accurate missiles. In fact, it's got more accurate missiles than the Congo. So Lafayette is a good ship killer. The downside is, I know it says it's got medium close-in weapon system. That's only those Crotels. Those Crotel missiles, right here, these are its close-in weapon system. Now they're 80%, but the problem is there's only 24 of them. It has no gun, phalanx gun, to be able to shoot at any missile coming in. So once those missiles are out, it's out. Whereas the Oliver Hazard Perry does have that close-in weapon system. If I can ever find where there it is, right here. The goalie keeper here on the back. It's got a phalanx gun. It's got these anti-air guns. They're only 50% accuracy, but they're fairly decent, and they can have pretty decent range for AA. They also got these harpoon missiles. Now, these harpoon missiles only fire one at a time, but if I have 6 of them, that should do all right. These also, the Lafayette has 60% ECM, the Oliver Hazard Perry has 30%, and the Congo has 40%. So these are pretty good all by themselves. The Type 21 is actually terrible because the range doesn't really make up for it, and its axis missiles are not very accurate. So we're going to move on from that. If you wanted to add a little bit more ship killing power, Super Pumas are very good anti-ships. Do I want them? I have a vague idea of what I want. I don't think I want them because I already have this all filled out. I do have an idea of else to get. Bakus are not very decent. It's got 2 of these missiles that does fire. I don't know if they fire them 2 at a time or 1 at a time, but it's got really bad close-in weapon system. I'm not sure. It doesn't have the goalkeeper, so it's basically using these Browning machine guns to try to shoot down an incoming missile. Not good at all. No, we're not going to do that. Chamsu Rees, they look like they are, the entire purpose is to intercept missiles, and you would be right. The problem is, they've got really crap range. This only allows 1 second of sustained fire on a missile that comes in, and that also includes the time to acquire it, and so it won't be able to stop a majority of the missiles coming through. And with only 50 strengths, a lot of Red 4 missiles can take this out one hit. It's tragic, but we're going to skip Champs de Rees. Now, with the Red 4 deck, I was able to do a land push. The problem is, because the Red 4 Navy is so good, I can't really afford to do that. So I am going to have to keep moving on. I'm just looking at other ships as I pass by, just compare. We could get ERC-90 Sangui. They are pretty fast, but I don't think we'd be able to do successful landings. We can always attempt it, but I think that we'll keep that with infantry mainly and use our ships if we actually get to that point to allow us to establish a beachhead and then move on from there. I think what we're going to do is we're going to get Super Hornets to basically rule the skies, because we definitely need to rule those skies pretty well. We need LCUs. So I'm going to put the Super Hornets over here at the end. So the LC, because we need some AA. We have the LCUs for the supplying of our ships. These are mainly just to supply. Just using supply to repair ships is not worth it. It's too expensive to repair these ships. You will drain a lot of supply doing that. We can get Roland 3s, which we can't get into support tab. Interesting. Looks like we could get a lot more units that we wouldn't be otherwise, just looking through. The Pegasus, now, the Pegasus is a good ship. Don't get me wrong. This is pretty good. It can launches these missiles, these harpoons pretty rapidly, and it can overwhelm. And it's very fast too, 38 knots. The problem is it's got no close-in weapon system and no ECM. So any missile that comes to it, it cannot defend itself. You need to have close-in weapon system like the Oliver had the Parry and the Congo to defend it. Champs de Rees, with their short range, will not be able to defend these very well. So, yeah, that's the problem with Pegasuses. But if you can get enough close-in weapon systems to defend these, they are king. They will kill ships in a big cluster. You just gotta be able to protect them, and then send them back for to be able to reload. Now for this last card, I am going to get the STRB 90s. These things are really, really good. They've got 8 Hellfire missiles to be able to take out tanks. They've got dual Browning machine guns. So you see these Browning machine guns, 2 on the side? Both those Browning machine guns can fire if this one side is painted toward the enemy. If the ship is slightly angled dead on, I think like all 4 or at least 3 of these Browning machine guns can all shoot simultaneously at that target, basically rip apart any enemy infantry. And to add insult to injury, it's also got a frag grenade that also has the same range as the Browning machine guns. And this is river. So it can sail up the river, decimate infantry and tanks that are too close to the river. And you know what the best part is? It's got exceptional optics. This is actually an exceptional optics recon vehicle with all these weapons in disguise. So it can spot everything up and down that river and help try to take it out. So STRB 90s, very good. You definitely want to have those in your deck. So the Super Hornets, are going to be here. They're going to be our AA and our occasional anti-ship missiles as well. And just put it on the Congo. Just look at it. Congo's, just a thing to remember, the Congo and the Lafayette has its missiles to the side, so they have to turn to the right or the left in order to properly shoot their missiles. So you have to keep all the exit sets turned off until you get all the Lafayettes to all line up. And then when you turn them all on, they'll fire a salvo of 4 at a time, along with the Congo, and you can overwhelm Red 4 defenses. The Blue 4 Navy, you kind of have to be a little more strategic, whereas the Red 4 is just all big, buff, powerful, and they're going to bash your face in. But yeah, that will be our Eurocorp Navy deck. It'll be interesting. I definitely need to be a little more careful when playing this, a little less gung-ho like I was in the Red Dragon, but I'm willing to give it a shot if you guys are willing to watch with me. So, thank you all so much for watching. Please do like, comment, and subscribe down below if you enjoyed me making this deck. And if you have any other deck ideas, please leave it in the comments. And I will see you all in the next video.